What's up, sports bettors? My name is Matt Modi. I'm a content producer and betting analyst for OddsJam. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to bet on the NFL, different NFL betting strategies, and most importantly, how to profit while betting on the NFL. Before I get into it, I would appreciate it if you could click that like button, comment on the video, and subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. I want to make sure that this is the type of content that you guys are enjoying. So any type of feedback you can give me is incredibly helpful for me moving forward. So the first way that you can bet on football is by betting on the point spread. So as you can see here, I have a screenshot of a game. What we see here is the -4 next to the Eagles, the +4 next to the Lions. This means that if you are betting on the Eagles to cover the spread, they have to win by more than 4 points in order for you to win your bet. On the opposite side, if you are betting on the Lions, they can lose by either fewer than 4 points or they can win the game and you would win that bet. Since this specific spread is just a 4 flat, not 4.5 or 3.5, if the Eagles win by exactly 4, that means that your bet will have pushed and you will get your money back refunded. The next thing we see here is the money line. We see the Eagles listed at -200. We see the Lions listed at +170. This means that you have to bet $200 on the Eagles in order to profit $100, assuming they win. Or if you bet on the Lions, $100 on the Lions money line, if they win, you will risk 100 to profit 170. So that's what the plus and the minus mean when betting on sports. The minus is the favorite, and that number is how much you need to risk in order to profit $100. The plus means that you are the underdog, and that is how much you will profit if you risk $100. The next one we see here is the total. This is betting on how many points are going to be scored in the game. So it doesn't matter who wins or who loses or who scores the points or who doesn't. All that matters is the total number of points scored in the game. So in this case, the total is set at 46.5. So if 47 or more points are scored, the over will hit. Or if 46 or fewer points are scored, the under will hit. Again, the Eagles could win 47-0, or the score could be 24-23. It doesn't matter. It just adds up the total points scored in the game. So those are the three main markets: point spread, money line, total points. There are obviously other ways you can bet on the NFL. One way is betting on player props. In this case, you are betting on a player statistic. It can range anything from player passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns. You can even bet on tackles. If there's a player stat that counts towards fantasy, it's probably a prop bet that you can bet on, a player prop bet that you can bet on. There are also game props, which are more prop bets similar to the total, in which you're not betting on a player, you're not betting on who you think is going to win or how much they're going to win by, but game props include team total points. So the Eagles team total, if I think they're going to score over 20 or 25, whatever it's set at. There are game props that also range from how many field goals will be scored. Will there be a fumble? Will there be a safety? Will the game go into overtime? Those are all examples of game props. Those are proposition bets, not main market bets, but they're still available for you to bet on the NFL. So now that we know how to bet on the NFL, let's now talk about how to make money betting on the NFL. Let's talk about some NFL betting strategies. Number one, and this is the most important betting strategy regardless of the sport, bet with your head, not your heart. It's really easy to fall in love with the best team or the team that just played well a week ago or your favorite team, anything like that. But it's important to not bet based on your heart, based on what you feel, based on what you want to do, but instead bet with your head. That strategy applies to every sport, not just the NFL, as does this next one. The next NFL betting strategy: fade the public. Generally, the public will fall in love with the team or with the spread, and the more money that comes in on that team, the more value the other team actually becomes. Generally, when it comes to sports betting, the sportsbooks want to have equal payouts on each side. So no matter who wins or who loses, they're paying out equal money on both sides. Or if there's a team that's really popular, like the Chiefs, like the Bills, people are going to bet on those teams more than they should because they're betting with their head. Or there's sometimes in which a total can get bet up too high based on the matchup. You know, it's two offensive juggernauts. People say, oh, this game's definitely going over. Another example of that is primetime. People love betting the over on primetime games, Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. So the totals end up being a little bit higher than what they should be. It's actually very easy to know where the public's money is going. It's available at a bunch of different places. You can even look on certain sports books will give you the percentage of spread and money line bets that they are receiving. Take a look at the screenshot on the screen here. Again, this is pulled from the week 1 matchup between the Rams versus the Bills opening night. And what we see is that the Bills are getting 67% of the money line bets and 64% of the spread bets. The public is falling in love with the Bills. They're Super Bowl favorites. Even though they're playing the defending Super Bowl champs, people want to bet on the Bills. So in general, baiting the public is a profitable way to bet on sports, not just the NFL. The next strategy that I want to talk to you about is line shopping. This is another betting strategy that applies to more than just the NFL, but it's incredibly important to line shop and make sure that you are constantly getting the best odds. So what you see on the screen here is all of the betting markets pricing for the total of the Washington Commanders versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what we see here is a wide array of what these sportsbooks are pricing odds at. But there's a ton of value on one bet that probably sticks out to you. And what we're looking at here is the under 44.5 points minus 110 on FanDuel. They are the only book that is pricing this total at 44.5. Every other book has this total lower than this number. We see a couple books at 44, a couple books at 43.5. Now, a point or half a point might not seem like a big deal, but over the course of a season, beating the closing line, even by half a point in terms of a total or a spread, can literally be the difference between making money or losing money on that entire season. So in general, if there is a total or a spread that you really like, make sure that you are line shopping and getting the best odds. It also applies for a money line bet. The next screenshot you see here is for that same Eagles-Lions game. And what we see here is that the best odds you can get on the Eagles money line is at minus 190 on BetMGM. It wouldn't make sense to get 200, 210, minus 205 odds on another sportsbook. You're just limiting the amount of money that you can make on that individual bet. So line shopping is incredibly important to making money betting on sports. So those are the important sports agnostic betting strategies that don't apply specifically to the NFL. Now I'm going to talk about some quick hitters that do specifically apply to the NFL. Number one is, on average, Thursday night games tend to favor the under, and they also tend to favor the home team. So I know I mentioned at the beginning that the public loves to bet the overs on primetime games. The one time where that doesn't apply is on Thursday night. So if you are looking to bet a Thursday night game, of course, do all of the strategies that I previously talked about. Just understand that A, the home team covers at a higher rate than normal, and the under hits at a higher rate than normal. Another scheduling spot that is important to look out for is try to fade teams that are on the third week of the next scheduling spot that's important to look out for is fade teams that are playing in their third straight road game. Now, it doesn't happen very often, but it is extremely disadvantageous to that team. So if there is ever a point in time where you find a team that is on their third straight road game, definitely make sure to fade them. I know it happens to my Eagles. Late in the season, they have 3 straight road games. That third game is an important one against Dallas, ripe to fade Philly in that game. The next one is interdivisional games for the teams playing for the second time. Those games generally tend to trend under. It's very specific. Again, it is an interdivisional matchup between two teams that are playing for the second time. So every division plays each other twice, right? The Eagles play the Cowboys twice, the football team twice, the Giants twice. The second game against those teams generally tend to trend towards the under. The last one that I want to touch on is just the weather. On average, wind translates to unders more so than rain. So if you hear that there is expecting rain or bad weather for a certain game, make sure to look into that a little more and understand that wind trends towards the unders more than rain does. So if it's just going to be a rainy day, all else is equal, don't necessarily say, oh, I'm hammering that under. Now, if it's windy and rainy and everything else, then yes, absolutely. But just understand that wind translates to unders more so than anything else in terms of weather related, like rain or anything like that. So those are just some scheduling conflicts to look out for. Again, the first 3 strategies are incredibly important. Bet with your head, line shop, fade the public. But in general, if you're looking for a little bit more advanced stuff, look for those specific scheduling spots in the NFL. But that's going to be it. Those are going to be my beginner level betting strategies for how to bet on the NFL. So remember the 3 main markets: point spread, money line, total points, player props, game props, And then don't forget those NFL betting strategies. That's really important to make sure that you're making money. That's going to be all I got for you. So again, I mentioned it at the beginning, but I would appreciate a like on the video if you could comment with your feedback, what I got right, what I got wrong, what you think went well, what did not go well. That stuff is all incredibly important and helpful to me. And then of course, if you could subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. Throughout the course of the NFL football season, we'll be having a ton of different content, more educational stuff like this. We'll also have some best bets, some game previews, all that good stuff you have to look forward to on the OddsJam YouTube channel. So definitely click that subscribe button. But that's going to be it. So I appreciate you guys watching. Have a good one.